everyone's just like, I just want to play the damn game. So
Right.
this is, you start to compare it to other games. Like, what if you wanted to play Skyrim and you're just like, hey, I'm going to play Skyrim. Nope. You have no internet right now.
If it wasn't a game like Skyrim,
That would be ludicrous.
absolutely ridiculous.
So wait, what if it was in a game like Assassin's Creed? Oh, wait.
Yeah. It
So
is in a game like Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
if we've already seen how this works, and we've already seen the retaliation from this, why is EA even going to bother try doing this themselves with a game that has no online components? This is just completely blowing my mind right now that they would even do this. And I understand like the piracy aspect of it, but at the same time, the game's probably already been pirated and cracked. And you can probably find a cracked version of the game online that doesn't require an online connection. Because you look at it this way. You go to steal a car, and a car has a dead switch in it. And a dead switch means that the car won't start until you find the dead switch and you press the button, and then the car will start. So it's a pretty good theft deterrent if you can't find the dead switch because the car will never start. However, as soon as you find the dead switch, it's pointless. You just push the button and the car starts and you're good. So as soon as somebody finds the DRM, then they patch around it and then you're done. So no matter how many different ways you find to put DRM in a game, somebody's eventually going to find that DRM and remove it from said game. So this is just an uphill battle that they are losing. They're losing so bad.
The whole piracy argument is also kind of ridiculous too, because yes, PC games get pirated more than any others, but you would think that in a situation like this of putting always online DRM and having such a negative impact in the past for previous titles, not necessarily EA titles, would just be a deterrent to more piracy, because you're making people mad and they feel like they need to take it to get their money's worth, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's this whole stupid situation. DRM, always online DRM, is never good. There should be a one-time login for authentication of your game through Origin, kind of like some Steam games do when you log into them, and that's it. Then done. You don't need an internet connection to play the game. You just need verification that it's your copy of the game, and that's it.
So here's a thought. Or do you have? Is that Brian? Do you have something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, and it sucks because from everything I read before the game came out, it was supposed to be pretty good, and right, I mean,
Yeah,
from what I heard, yeah, everything negative about it. The reason why it's getting such negativity is because of the whole online thing and the servers being down and everything like that.
So it could have been just an amazing launch. It could have been just a great game, but people are never going to remember that if this keeps up. All they're going to remember is not being able to play it.
Yeah, I don't understand why people didn't a lot of people are blowing this out of proportion too, saying it's the biggest thing since ever. The game was announced to have always online DRM a while ago, a year ago, if I remember correctly. So it's been known that this was potentially going to be an issue, but everybody's just wait, what? Always online? No, I did not know that.
I think it's a lot of the people who don't follow gaming blogs.
Most likely, yeah.
Bought the game and then just ran to a forum and said, "How do I sign up for this so I can rage?" You know.
Probably.
But here's the thought. I don't understand why big companies like this don't hold these games hostage when they know that they're doing this because of piracy. So EA themselves hold games hostage. EA has specifically come out and said, we are no longer doing these said sports titles anymore on PC. One, because of piracy. Two, because they don't sell. So we're not going to make them anymore. And if you want them, well, then you should tell us and show us that you want them. And for two, I don't understand why these big developers don't just get paid up front for their PC games. Obviously, there's piracy issues on consoles, but it's not nearly as big of a problem as it is on PC. And there's plenty of authentication stuff. Steam it has a decent authenticator, and it's kind of on the honor system, if you will, where the DRM isn't as intrusive with most of the games. But why don't they just say, look, here's SimCity, we're going to release it, we've projected that it'll sell $12 million worth of copies. Here's our Kickstarter. If we make $12 million, we will release the game today, DRM free. You can do whatever you want with the game. You can post it on Pirate Bay, whatever you want, because it doesn't matter, because we got what we were supposed to get out of this game to consider it a success so that we can make SimCity 2 or whatever the game is that follows that game. And then that way they guarantee their money, the PC market gets their game, and you don't have to pay like a $10,000 into the Kickstarter. You just pay the $60, and as long as there's enough of a demographic to stand behind that game and pay for it, you don't have anything to worry about because you know it's going to sell and people are going to buy into it, and then you're good. Obviously, if it's like a game like, say, Dead Space 1, when that first launched, we don't know if this is going to be good or not because survival horror hasn't been good for years. It's a brand new franchise. Who knows how this thing's going to sell, so maybe not the best tactic to go that way with that type of game. But a game like SimCity is a given. It's already getting incredible reviews. It's going to be a great game. People are already lining up to get it. Why not do this, get your money, and then be over it? Then EA can step back and go, yeah, we could have theoretically made more money if we DRM'd the heck out of it. But then maybe we wouldn't because people wouldn't buy it because of the DRM and vice versa. But at least this way they get paid, and they're happy, we're happy, end of situation. I mean, does anybody see any holes in this logic?
Crickets.
Okay, well, we solved it. There we go. EA, we officially solved your problems. So from now on big games like this, you just have it paid for up front. You're happy. The game comes out. It's DRM free, and we're happy. And problem solved. I'm glad I can solve your problem. Send the check to Ryan at.
Well, they could just have a pre-order, and once it hits the certain dollar amount, they release it.
Exactly. They don't even need Kickstarter. They can use Origin for this, and they can have just a ticker next to the pre-order button that says, we have obtained this much of our goal of this much, and once it reaches this amount, then we will release the game. If it doesn't reach this amount, we will not release the game. And it's just that simple. They hold it hostage. Like if they release the game and it trickles out, then obviously it hits Pirate Bay and it goes around, and then all of a sudden everybody has it, and it doesn't matter if you sell it. But if you never release the game, or even do this before the game's even finished, like it's finished enough to where that you have demos and stuff so that reviewers can start hyping the game, but the game's not finished enough to where you can actually distribute it, then there's nothing to distribute. So if it gets leaked, quote unquote, it's an unfinished game that's leaked. Nobody wants that. They want the finished game. So, I mean, it just, I don't know, makes sense to me.
Sounds good.
I just solved the PC gaming problem in a podcast. Why am I not working for EA? That's right, because it's EA.
Oh.
Anywho.
Alright, and thanks for listening to a snack-sized episode of the Fistful of Potions podcast. If you'd like to hear more about this topic and other topics from the week, check out our full podcast on iTunes and on Facebook. And don't forget to check out the main site, FistfulofPotions.com, of course. So what do you think about this topic? Do you think developers should hold their games hostage before they release them so that they make sure that they get their money? Or do you think that the DRM in SimCity was justified? Or do you think this whole thing was completely blown out of proportion? Or do you just not play SimCity? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time for another snack-sized episode of the Fistful of Potions podcast.